Hi, welcome. This is my first video, and I will be going through all the books I read uh, that I have in my library at the moment. Not my library, my bookshelf at the moment. And all the books I read, and all the books I am planning on reading in the future, and the books I am currently reading. I will be going through those. Let's go through the read books in order of least enjoyed or least loved to most loved. So, in my least loved read books, we have the memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. I don't have much to say about this book because I've read this book. I think now about 5 years ago, when I was just finishing like one book a year, so I didn't retain much information. I don't retain much information about it now, but I did remember not really liking it as much as these other books I've read. Now then we have the A Little Life. This book is like, how I can explain it is it's hard to explain. It's as the author described it. It's like a study of how much a person can go through without breaking, or how breakable a person becomes, or after how much things a person goes through, that that if suicide is acceptable. And the problem I have with this novel is mainly in the last chapter, after William dies. Spoiler alert. It's not like I didn't have any problems with the book before that point, but and those mainly were on the graphic descriptions of self-harm and essays, child essays. Those were my main problems. Those do exist in this book, and graphic details, but they were like sandwiched between Jude now. Jude's main character, Jude's life, that's more easily digestible. It's kind of sandwiched between those things, which is kind of makes it easier to read. But the main problem I had, like I mentioned before, was the death of Willem, because there was no point. You'd think that after a person goes through that much trauma, the only good, like the only effective good thing that happens to him gets taken away for no good reason. And that's the main frustration I have with this book, with the ending of how it says that as a person who goes that a person who goes through those terrible things, for those people, suicide is kind of, it doesn't outright say it, but is excused, and is a and that it is a necessary escape to go through those traumas. I don't like the message it gives. So yeah, not like, don't love it, but you gotta watch out for the trigger warnings. Then the next book is Persuasion by Jane Austen. This is like every other Jane Austen book. It's witty. It goes through themes of class and social structures in the, I think, 18th centuries or 19th centuries. I mainly loved the book, but I did think that the first half was too long or too boring. Nothing happened. And what I can say is, and my favorite part about this book was Wentworth, who is like the best, aside from Willem in the previously mentioned book A Little Life. It's like top tier character, like good character. It's like the ideal man, in my opinion. So my favorite part about this book was Wentworth, and later half. If you're reading it and in the first half it kind of bores you, I promise you the later half is worth it. Next we have Heartstopper Volume 3, which was a birthday gift for last year. I love this book. It's, for those who don't know, this is like episode 1 to 3. No, I think it's like season 2. I'm sorry, my memory is gone, but like season 2 of Heartstopper, I think, or 3 Heartstopper, season 2, I think. It's heartwarming. It's what the Heartstopper comic. What is a comic? Heartstopper graphic novel. It's good. It's very heartwarming read. Count how many times I said heartwarming in that book. And another heartwarming / cozy fantasy book is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Time traveling, sitting on a specific chair in a coffee shop with a time limit of a coffee being poured, and before the coffee gets cold. That's like 10 minutes in real world. Like before the coffee was freshly poured in, then it has to get cold. That's like 10 minutes. 10 minutes of time traveling. I like that it is sectioned into small, short chapters, short stories. And the story about the wife and husband one made me cry, because dementia has always had this impact on me. ever since I found this album slash compilation of several albums by the Caretaker. I don't know if you've heard it. Everywhere at the End of Time. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I haven't listened to it in full, but I've watched video essays about that specific album, and it kind of resonates with me. I think it's a fascinating and sad disease which kind of strips the person of essentially who they are, you know, who they are, and it kind of molds them into a new person, someone unrecognizable. So that kind of hits hard, but it's a must read. I highly recommend this. Next we have 1984 by George Orwell. This is a classic. It's like a dystopian novels. I don't think this book needs introduction, other than the fact that it's very relevant today, which is a sad reality, but it is. And being educated on the matter and being well informed about different, how can you say, different political stances is going to be helpful in the future. I fully believe that. So this is a must read because of how it's still, after like 70 years of writing, it's still relevant. And next we have The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This is, I think, the first classic I've read. I read, and no other classic books I've read till then. Although this is like the only other classic, and Persuasion. I've only like 3 classic books, but no other classic book has ever come close to the quality and the story and the themes exploration done in this book. I like that the ending was kind of could be interpreted into ways, meaning him stabbing we could take the text from the book as literal as it is written, as him stabbing his painting, and it bearing his sins, then kind of like gives back all the sins after being destroyed. Or we could take it as a text about self abortion. I don't know. I'm trying to go over the YouTube censorship, so excuse my lack of use of local words or something. Self-abortion, delete, yeah. And the books, and also the part in the book where he kind of like revels in the wishes of the world, describing jewels and like clothes and fabrics imported from like exquisite, exotic places of the earth. I had so much fun reading that, so highly recommend this. In the next book we have Immorium by Alice Wynne. For the longest time I thought this was shortlisted for the Booker Prize, but turns out it wasn't. And it's a shame, it should have been. It's a story about, it's a historical fiction about two, mainly revolving around two queer gay boys, I think, Gaunt and Elwood, who are in, I think they are in 10th, 11th grade. They are like 16, 15 years of age when they join the army. And I like that it doesn't shy away from showing the horrors of wars and how it affects people and how government uses the men, I think, boys' enthusiasm and their loyalty to their country for their gains, for their I don't know, propagandas. I don't know. Yeah, and I also loved the fact that it's a happy ending after all the horrors that they went through for the main characters. Although I think most of their friends, the side characters, died. I think most of them died, and the two main characters escaped to Brazil because it was safer for them, which is a really great way to get a happy ending while keeping it realistic. Then last, before this is an all-time classic, and I highly recommend you read this book. And I finished this book in like, I don't know, 2 days, and I didn't finish it in one day because of like me preparing for some other exam and stuff. Okay. Then another all-time classic, all-time favorite is The Fellowship of the Ring, the book 1 of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This book I don't think this book needs an introduction. I don't think I can give any praise to this book that hasn't already been said. This is a classic case of trying to review a masterpiece and being original. I don't think I can be original in my review of this. I did film a reading vlog for this, but the laptop that I'm currently using is not really great, so it might take a while to publish that. Okay, back to the book. I like that it sort of reads like reading a book inside a story, inside a history of some world that has existed for centuries and centuries and centuries, you know? And I liked Sam. I loved Sam, and the rest of the company as well. The battle between Gandalf and Balrog was as epic as it was in the movies. The whip swirling thing that the Balrog uses to pull Gandalf down the hole. I thought that was just made up for the movies, but turns out it was written. So yeah, that was weird, kind of. And oh, I'm currently reading these two books. The book 2 of Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I don't think I haven't filmed any vlogs for this, and I'm halfway. I would like to go into details on this book specifically too. I loved it so far. I think it just keeps getting better from better and better, and I'm very much looking forward to reading the third book. And if you want to know the edition of the books I got, it's called the HarperCollins Special Collector's Edition. It's hardback, but it's like budget hardback covers edition. The quality of the paper is nice, but I don't know if you can see it, but when I open this, you see this glue here. I don't think it's the best quality, which is why I kind of handle it with as best of a care as I could. So remember that glue issue if you're planning on getting it. And then the other book I am currently reading is Giovanni's Room. I am like 30 pages in to the book, and I'm loving it so far. It's been interesting. And James Baldwin is like the second behind Tolkien that I think I would like to read all of his works. After this, I might read Another Country or the Fire Next Time, or Gold Tail on the Mountain. His story, his life story that is depicted, not depicted, but like his short summary of his life that is written in summaries in this book, like his story of how he came to write Another Country, and his other books like Gold Tail on the Mountain in the back intrigued me, so which is why I am planning on reading all of it. And I think his writing is very powerful. So yeah, now to the unread section of my bookshelf. A Bloody Field by Shrewsbury. This is I don't know what this is about. I got it for like a sweet deal, the cover looked like so much fun, so I kind of bought a book for its cover. This is like the book I bought for its cover. No, I don't really plan on reading this. The second unread book is These Old Shades, and I also don't know what this is about, and I will also probably not read it unless someone tells me, like I discover a very good reason why I should read it. Next we have Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own. I I will probably read this as it's a very short book. Like I think it's 100 pages long, 105 pages long. I will probably read this after I finish Giovanni's Room. So I also don't know what it is about, which not like this. I'm not like eager to find out what this is about. I don't really want to read this, which might be a mistake, but I don't know. But I am really looking forward to reading this book. Next we have Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I was contemplating on shelving this book to not reading list, but because I bought this at the same time I bought Persuasion by Jane Austen, and Persuasion, although I did love it, didn't like blow me away. So I thought it would be so and so with the story slash the 19th century, 17th, 18th century stories, but most of my favorite booktubers, like two of my favorite booktubers, said that this was their favorite classic book, so I trust their opinions a lot, so that's why I am going to be giving this book a chance. Next we have East of Eden by Joan Steinbeck. This is like a must read for me. I am looking forward to reading this because I am a big fan of the movie, and once I read that movie was like only a third of the book, the ending third of the book, I was like, I got to know more about the story of Kathy and how the father of Cal, father and mother of Cal separated. I had to know more, so I'm looking forward to reading it when it's coming, so I've got to hurry. Okay, and then this is the third book of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and in my opinion the best book cover. And I am also looking forward to reading it. And we have Dostoevsky, The Idiot. If I read this book, this will be my first Dostoevsky, and I don't know if reading this before Crime and Punishment will be a good experience or not, but I don't have Crime and Punishment at the moment, so if I read this first, I'm hoping it will not be a detrimental experience to that Dostoevsky experience. Next we have Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. I've been meaning to get into Sally Rooney as soon as I finished watching Normal People. I liked that it's not just it was not Normal People. I mean, it was not just a romance series. It kind of tackles class distinction, on how a relationship dynamic changes on the power a person has over the significant other. I think that was a very interesting exploration, and I wanted to read that, and I didn't want to read normal people because the book. I mean, because I watched the series and I thought I give my time to other stories of Sally Rooney. So yeah, and I have also heard that this is about a story between two brothers. Uh, I have three brothers, so I wanted to see if that would resonate with me. Next, we have Jane Austen Mansfield Park. I don't know anything about this book. I just bought it because it was on sale. I will read it, and I think the cover is really pretty, like the illustration. It's like a countryside depiction with deers and stuff. It's a really pretty book cover, so that's one of the reasons why I bought it. Oh, the fact that it was on sale. Next, we have Norwegian Wood by Murakami. I've heard praises about this book. I also know that it is a story about two college students who lost their best friend for the guy and boyfriend for the girl, and how losing him made them grow closer, I think, into developing a relationship between the two, and kind of navigating the relationship after that fact. So I'm really looking forward to reading it, and I will probably, if I am a fan of the writing, I will probably read Kafka on Shore next of this. And then we have, for the fantasy novels, as you can tell, I'm a pretty big fantasy nerd. The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I've been meaning to get this book for a very long time, and when it went on sale, I immediately got this along with the second book. These two. For like, I think 60% of, no, 30 to 40% off on the price that it would normally be sold in. And this specific edition is the UK edition, but not split in the part 1 and part 2 books. And I liked that it's not separated like that. Like most of my TBR, I am also looking forward to reading this book, and this is a very thick book, and I was told it gets thicker, which is why I don't think I will be finishing the series this year, but I will try because I really want to get into this other series, that like the City Watch series inside the Discworld novel. I have the Feet of Clay. This is I think the third book on the City Watch series inside the Discworld novel world. Yeah, I will read this after I finish the first and second books. I've thought I had something more to say about this, but I really am looking forward to it. Next we have George R. Martin, A Storm of Swords, Part 1, Steel and Snow. I don't know if this is just the Part 1 of A Storm of Swords. And I also don't know what is up with me with buying books in the middle of a series, but yeah, that's me not doing research, biting me behind my back. About this book, let's see. I haven't watched I think a single episode of the Game of Thrones series. I've watched clips of it, and from what I can gather, I've mostly know how the story in the series goes, and I will probably not read this book, if we're being honest, mainly due to the fact that the fifth book, Winds of Winter, I will probably not start the series before Winds of Winter comes out. And if it doesn't come out, I will probably not read the series, I don't think. Yeah, I have a problem with reading or watching unfinished series. That's me being traumatized by the cancellation of Julian Phantoms or the horrific or the unfinished ending of Merlin, the BBC show. Yeah, that's my main issue of starting the Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire book series is the fact that it still isn't finished yet, and that I can forgive a series / show / movie if it has even if it isn't finished, it has like a reasonable kind of ending for the characters. But I don't think these book series have got it. I think it kind of ends in the middle of their story, which is why I will probably not read or start this book series. So I know I'm missing out on so much fun and so much character and so much world building, but I don't think I would put myself through the torture of waiting for something that probably will not happen. So once Winds of Winter arrives, best believe I will be starting A Song of Ice and Fire, the Game of Thrones book series. I think that is all my books that I have physically at the moment. I will give a link. No, I will give a link to my Goodreads account in the description below, which if you want to know what audiobooks I've listened to, because I've listened to like four audiobooks, which included Piranesi, which is also an all-time favorite, instant all-time favorite. book, which I will not buy physically because I think it would be wasting money because I have already read slash listened to the book in another format. So yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble for about 40 minutes or so. As this is like my first booktube video, I subscribe and like for more exposure, and I hope you follow me on my journey too, filling up this. This has like 4 stories, 4 not stories, 4 how do I say, 4 spaces that I can fill with books. And if you're wondering about these are physics textbooks for university slash college, so don't worry about those books. Yeah, follow me on my journey and filling my bookshelf with read books. And also I will try to post the reading vlogs for the Fellowship of the Rings and the Two Towers and the Return of the King. Once I've come around to reading those, and also go into more in-depth reviews of the books I've read and I am currently reading. I plan on making a in-depth review for Giovanni's Room. So yeah, I'm looking forward to putting out more videos for y'all. Peace.